Found him. Nuclear Cadillo. Cadillo. Crazy dude. It's so funny to mess with him.
Is this the guy with the hat and the headphones in that picture?
Yeah, and that's what he looks like. I'm like, bro, like
Oh, that's rough.
literally.
You
Yeah.
should not be talking.
I've never even like given my phone number to anyone that even looked close to you. Like I've never ever talked to anyone like you.
Oh my god.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's another episode of the Nuke Stream. Let me know if my sound's coming in good, guys. It was coming in good this morning, but hopefully now it's the same and all that. And I'll be doing sound drops during the show too, so let me know, guys, that it's good too. So, but without further ado, guys, today the topic is detachment. It's a very interesting topic. It's the one that it's the thing that men get criticized the most when we're dealing with our relationships, like that we're not invested, that we don't care, that we uh, prefer not caring or about women or dating, and that there's something wrong with us, that you're ill, that you're mentally ill, and all that stuff. And it's just another one of those therapy buzzwords, right? For us, it means something super healthy, but for the larger public, when it comes to dating, it means something else, right? It means anything from fuckboy to uh, immature to cowardly, right? And it's interesting, right? Because the word detachment with everything else, like it's strength. Like you got to detach from your possessions, and you got to detach from bad people in your life, and you got to detach from money and all this stuff, right? But when it comes to dating and women, they're like, no, like detachment is evil, right? I wonder why that is, right? So we're going to talk about that and why it's important, and what true detachment means, and how it could be confused with apathy, how it could be confused with other things. And yeah, we'll get right into it. So yeah. All right. Put a one in the chat, guys, if you can hear me well too, by the way. Um, all right. So uh, detachment really is just being emotionally uninvested from an institution, a thing, a place, a person, anything, right? It's essentially, hey, I am no longer as emotionally invested as I once was to something. And it with time, you'll realize that it kind of comes naturally, right? A lot of guys want to be these cold, brooding, stoic guys, the kind of the Batman types, where they're just like, I don't care, But the thing is, like, true detachment is actually gives you the opposite kind of attitude in life. It's more of a happy-go-lucky, regular kind of existence, because you've made peace with not being attached to something, right? Uh, the guys that still complain about women a lot and still are angry at women, and vice versa, the women that also are seen very angry at men, uh, those people are very, very still attached to dating and to the opposite gender. They are incredibly invested um, in the opposite gender, and their words betray them, right? Because if they didn't care, then they would be having more fun with the opposite gender, because they are completely unattached to an outcome with the opposite gender, right? But as their behavior and their things they post and the media they consume shows that is not quite what we're seeing, right? So for the most part, um, you want to be the type of person that understands what true detachment is, and identifying yourself when you're actually attached, you're lying to yourself that you don't care about something, or that you're not also so detached that you're apathetic about something. And true apathy is good for a while, but then it starts to worry you because you're just like, man, shouldn't I care more? Shouldn't I this? Shouldn't I that? But we'll get into that too. So um anyways, uh let's see, hold on. Give me 1 second. Mm, all right, so uh, here in the red pill praxology, we like to talk about she's not yours, just your turn. Um, being outcome independent. You know, the PUA guys will talk about that, and it's essentially understanding the dynamic and where you have power and where you don't, where you have agency and where you don't. And to detachment to a lot of people seems like cowardice, right? Where I see foolishness, where certain people see foolishness and a waste of time, other people see cowardice, right? So if I don't care about the political situation in my country because being attached to that makes me unhappy, and since I can't affect the outcome, other people see that as cowardice. Like, hey, how dare you not care about something? And people want you to care about what they care about sometimes, especially if they see you as competent, or especially if they see you as a peer or something like that. They cannot believe that you don't care about something. Um, Truly, it is a prison that we're putting young men into, right? Where we're like forcing them to care about things outside of their control, and that is a very, when I say force, I mean, like through shame, guilt, manipulation, um promise of something that really isn't on the other side. uh we're teaching younger guys that, hey, if you do care about things that you really can't affect, then you'll get an outcome, right? And this is basically most of the manosphere right now. Whatever they call it these days is the manosphere, where if you vote for Trump, and if you lift weights, and if you eat raw milk, and you let it stick, right? Somehow you're going to get a 5'10" Nordic blonde woman and live in the middle of nowhere and be happy and have a compound full of pros that all think like you and act like you. Um, that's an extreme hyperbolic example, almost comical example of it, but to some extent, right? They want you to be attached to this idea or this dream or this political direction. Um, And what that does to you, right? It just creates misery in your life, because you feel that now that you're attached to this outcome, that if you do these things, then you don't get it, right? You are then forced to turn to those people that told you, right, implicitly or explicitly, about the benefits or rewards of this attachment to this idea, and now they don't have the answer. They will pivot to something else, and you see this a lot. And even now in the red pill, as we're in an election year, where there's talk about repealing the 19th. I'm like, are you serious? Repealing the 19th, uh, changing women as a whole, changing society's behavior, right? Not even offering a step one or a step two, right? Just saying this needs to happen. And there's guys that are just like, yeah, this needs to happen. But that will never happen, ever. Like, there will be war fought before women's uh, suffrage gets taken away, right? So you're we attach ourselves to these ideas that if we're good and we keep posting about how we're on the right side of history, that you will somehow get something for yourself. You get a piece of the pie that everyone else is working on. And the truth is that as you get older, as you get into hierarchies, as you fight for positions in life, as you date, as you deal with uh, people in general, you're going to realize like the real world does not work like that, right? And you're going to realize the times in your life where you were incredibly selfish were times that you got ahead, whether it be for a promotion or for a hot chick or dealing with a shitty family member. The times you were selfish, you tended to do better in life. And you are, uh, what's happening is that you're becoming detached from other things and more your own point of origin, right? And I'll explain. Um, the whole world wants you to act a certain way, and when you act outside of that, um, you get criticized for it. Obviously, right? You don't get a clap on the back for banging hot chicks and being single or whatever like that, right? That's something that most guys keep secret, right? And you don't want that. So, um, so yeah, you don't want that. So basically, um, moving forward, you will get criticized for being detached from things, right? From giving up on things. So you need to prepare for that, right? You will be seen as some kind of monster for not serving the greater good, not serving gynocentrism, not serving traditional path, not serving a religion. You will be seen as a monster, right? As a rogue, as a person who's selfish, and all that stuff, right? No buffering, so it seems like our seems better now. Okay, cool. Thanks. So yeah, what you want now is to understand what should I detach from? Like, what are things should I detach from? And the first thing you do is what can I not change? Right? Obviously, we talked about society at large. You can't change society at large, right? You can only change yourself and maybe incentivize the people around you that care about what you have to say or think, which is very little. Usually, it's your family, your immediate family, your friends, um, and all that. And if you have a platform, your most loyal followers who actually listen and apply what you say, right? Which is a privilege within itself. Um, but let's see. Like, continue on with my notes. Essentially, when people complain about your detachment, now let's move to dating. Let's get a little more specific. Let's move to dating. Um, when people see my posts and they're just like, "Hey, how do you get to this level of detachment with women?" You have these stories with women where they're terrible or they just disappear or they're gone one day. They're like acting great one day and they're gone the next. What's happening there, right? Is that it's not that I'm like, "Oh, they're gone," and I'm like, it's that I am analyzing in real time what's the best form of action. What is the best thing for this situation? What can get this over with the fastest, right? So, the stories I tell um for how I deal with women, they seem kind of cold and callous, right? They seem like, "Hey, he's he has no heart or he has no feelings or he just heartbroken," or whatever people say, right? Whatever emotional language people use. But the truth is, I look around in these situations, right? And though some of them were painful or confusing, right? You need to look around and be like, what can I do to get out of this situation the fastest, right? Um, so when I was dating insurance girl, right? Insurance agent girl, and I was it was about last year, February 2023. And I was writing that thread, the thread that made me popular, thread that made me famous, right? And I texted her and say, "Hey, let's hang out when I come back." She was taking care of my dog at the time, right? As I was in some town in West Texas doing some work, right? And she says, "Sorry, we can't hang out. I found somebody." And I'm like, "Oh crap." She's When a girl tells you she's found somebody else, that means she's already been seeing that person for like probably a month plus, right? So I was like, okay, how do I get out of this situation? Right? She has my dog, my most prized possession. So what do I do? Okay. I was like, okay, cool. Well, then I'll pick up Tadashi so and so date. So I go, and the day I pick up Tadashi, she's crying on the phone saying she lost him or he got off the leash. I'm a little worried because he's a puppy and he's a Shiba Inu. Shiba Inus, don't do really well with recall. He'll probably be exploring the whole neighborhood thinking he's some kind of, uh, wild animal, right? So, uh, I get a little worried myself, but I keep calm. I'm all right. I'll go help you find him. I'm pulling out. She was crying in tears, right? And then she tells me, "Okay, I got him." And then when I go up to her apartment, or when I go get to her apartment, she's like, "Stay downstairs," right? And I'm like, "Okay." So usually I would walk upstairs and walk inside and give her a hug and be, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" She's like, "No, stay downstairs." So either that was out of respect for the new guy, or it was like, hey, he's actually upstairs, right? So some dude was touching my dog or whatever, so that was weird. And then she hands me the dog, and the dog is bleeding, right? Has bloody paws. And I'm just like, okay. A lot of people were like, how did you let that slide? Right? Because I got the dog, I'm like, it's okay. I'm just gonna let him rest, clean him off, let him rest on the couch. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Um, and a lot of people were like, why didn't you go off on her? Why didn't you, all that stuff? But the thing is, like, what would I have gained? Right. And that is like the key to detachment, right? Is to completely analyze the situation, give your ego a rest for a second and be like, what do I gain out of any reaction out of the situation, out of fighting my way or arguing or calling someone out, right? I said, there's nothing to gain here. She doesn't care about my opinion. She just wanted to get rid of me and my dog out of her life. Right. And the best thing to do in that moment was to detach. Now, on the girls' side, a lot of girls will applaud this. They'll be like, "Oh, you did the right thing. You didn't get mad, blah blah blah," right? Because girls are always watching out for girls. But you see how, as a whole, women don't like detached guys. They say, "Oh, detached guys are evil. They have no heart. They're dangerous. They break your heart." But in these real life situations, right, detachment saved face for both of us and kept us both from saying stupid things to each other or hurting each other, or something like that. Um, so detachment from uh from a perspective of being, in the real life and dating real women is actually amazing. It's actually going to keep you sane and happy as a man, right? That's not to say in that exact moment I was like excited, I was happy. It's that over the course of 2 days, I slowly started accepting little by little that this happened. I processed it and I was just like detaching, right? And that's how it goes. The first thing you have to do when learning how to detach is to always forgive yourself. Women have an incredible ability of making us think we're in full-on relationships with them, just like some men do. And then they take us serious right before they get rid of us completely, right? Women are terrified of rejecting men, but whether it's men they love or once loved, or even men they don't care about, right? So they have to do this thing where it's called the monkey branch, right? Where they'll grab both branches, right? And then when this branch is secure, they'll let go of the old branch and then they'll keep going. And that's what was going on there, right? And the thing to let go for her was getting rid of me and my dog, right? She had my dog in custody, so I had to, you know, and that's true game, guys. That's amused mastery. That's detachment. Not to fluff myself up too much here, right? But a lot of people think that game is only an amused mastery is only getting chicks, but it's also leaving out of chicks' life. That how to leave out of a woman's life with dignity, how to detach, right? How to be detached most of the time. How to become invested, realize, holy shit, this is not good for me. I got to get out of here, and then detach in a dignified manner, which causes the least amount of pain, first and foremost, to yourself and maybe the chick if you care that much. Um, so me getting mad at this girl because she wasn't responsible with my dog was gonna solve nothing. I wanted to get out of there as much as she did. So I did what I had to do, and I detached. I didn't call her out. I didn't say, "Hey, how come you haven't checked on Tadashi? He's limping, right? My puppy." So instead of doing all that, right, I simply took 2 or 3 days to process what just happened, and moved on with my life, right? And that's it. Um, Detachment is not easy thing to deal with if you're new with women and new with dating. The extreme guilt you feel at the beginning, right? Like you people will criticize you. People will say that your mind is somewhere else all the time, right? But understand that it's you are what the situation calls for, right? You don't become detached because being detached is cool, or or you're trying to be like a movie character, you're trying to be like whatever, right? It's like the difference between it's like I would say, what's the movie? John Wick, right? John Wick's a nice guy, right? But um, when people came in to attack his dog, he had a reaction, right? He had to become John Wick again to get to the bottom of this, right? Who killed his dog? And then after it was done, he's back to being his normal self, right? And the thing is with attachment is that it's a reactionary thing. That's why I say you figure yourself, because you cannot be invested in every single woman that comes into your life. As a matter of fact, you should not be invested in every woman that comes into your life. It will harm you. It will make you go crazy. And then guess what? You end up as a black pillar. You end up in one of these pages or on Twitter or wherever, YouTube, being mad at women all the time, right? The key to liking women, I always say this, is being detached. Because if you don't practice detachment, you will have an emotional injury or several, and you will end up angry and bitter over and over again. And you will blame women for it. And yes, I do agree that women are, if you, they have agency and they do cause this stuff, right? But now that you understand what they're capable of, right? Now you have to think and act and carry yourself in a way where you can act accordingly, right? Remember, the relationship is her problem. A lot of girls and guys don't like that. They're like, "What do you mean? Don't you care too?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do care. I cared enough to prepare for years for the opportunity to have a woman in my life and be better." Like I grinded my 20s. I got in shape. Like my finances order. I learned how to talk to you. I learned how to be charismatic. I learned all these skills that make me a future good husband. I'm already invested. I'm invested in myself. The problem is being invested in every single woman that gives me the time of day, right, is going to render all that work I did moot and useless, right? What good is it making six figures, right, if I'm always angry or depressed over a girl? Nothing, right? What good is a nice physique if I'm always angry and depressed and thinking whether a girl likes me or not, what her next move is? Nothing. It's no way to live. It's depressing. You're never going to go anywhere in life. You're just going to be constantly grinding and making more money and all that stuff and angry at women. Like, and the thing is, the only way, the step one of stop being angry, get on your rage face, right, is always go out and date, be the man in the arena, right? Stop being scared of women. They're not out to get you. And number two, detach, become detached. And I'm not saying become detached from women. Become detached from the outcome with women. Right? You have a healthy testosterone level, you will always like women sexually, right? At least, at a minimum, you will like them sexually. They will turn you on. You will see a nice rack or a nice butt, and you'll be like, I like that. You are bound to that for the rest of your life until maybe 5 years before you die. You are bound to that. There is no way around that. There is nothing you can drink or take. You will still be into chicks. So you have to deal with that. You cannot unattach yourself from biology. However, now that you can't escape that, you have to play accordingly. You have to play accordingly. Because if every girl you meet, you become incredibly attached to, right? Um, you're going to suffer. and you don't know what's on the other end of that. No one knows, and it's probably not good. So yeah. Um, the only people that dislike your detached attitude are the people that benefit from you being overly invested in them, right? So women as a whole, or it could be a single woman that just one woman that that's mad that you're not like more invested in her, right? But understand that being people want you to be like women want you to be attached to them, right? Because it gives them power, right? Why do you think there's so many articles of women complaining that men are like disaffected and don't care, right? It's because I know that's more of apathetic, which isn't good, right? But it's because they benefit from guys caring. That's the part here. Like they benefit from guys caring. Red alarms, like alarms go off in women's head whenever you give off the energy of like I don't care. I mean, it turns them on too, right? But like as a whole, society doesn't like when men don't care. So what happens is, oh hey, um, this guy doesn't care. He's a coward. I mean, obviously, they use shaming language and all that. So here you are, detached, and you're getting, all these reactions, and you're just like, why is that? And it's because it gives you power. Whenever a way of thinking gives you power as a man, rule zero, sexual power and options in the marketplace. Whenever that gives you power, people, women, and feminized men will attack you for it, even in your personal life. They do not like the fact that how much power detached men have. And that's the scary part, right? What do you mean I have to do more than just be hot? Why can't he just be into me? Because lots of girls are hot. Sorry. What do you mean he didn't fall in love with this chick that did all these things? Well, you win some and you lose some. Some girls get lucky and fall in love, some girls don't. You got to try it more harder. It just gives you more power. And that's why, guys, whenever you get the shaming language for a way of thinking, it's because it infringes or threatens gynocentrism, power, female power, right? And that's why a lot of people will criticize attachment and make it seem like, hey, you are pathetic, a coward, all that stuff, right? Um, it takes practice, right? It takes practice to be detached. It's not something that you just read one Rollo Tomasi book and you're just all of a sudden this stoic alpha guy that you. This is the skill that only guys that go out and talk to women have. How I know, a guy is good with women or has experience with women is their level of detachment from an outcome, right? If I see guys saying certain things like about how they control women and how and the word should and women should be this way or women should be that way, right? I know that guy has issues, right? I know that guy has not reached a level where he's finally accepted woman's nature and moved on. I know that guy is struggling. He's battling demons, so to speak, right? Guys that get it, guys that talk to women, guys that have had their heart broken and been like, yeah, um, they have healthy coping mechanisms for rejection from women. Um, they have, acceptance. They accept women's nature for who they are, not for what they can never be. They they tend to have this preoccupied, um, wistful way of looking at the world, right? And for people that have this old order way of thinking, they look at that and like, wow, you're so sad to have this level of detachment. And it's just like, am I? What's more sad? The fact that your happiness depends on someone else dedicating their whole life to you, or the fact that the women in my life choose to be in my life, not out of obligation, but because they want to be there. And they can leave whenever they want, and I will let them. Well, you got to fight for love. No, you don't. A woman that wants to be with you wants to be with you. And that's it, flat out, period. There is no fighting for love, right? That is something that they made up in a Disney movie or, Shakespeare or something, but you don't fight for love. I think the confusion was two people were in love and then the outside powers that be made it impossible, like Romeo and Juliet, right? But I think that got morphed into a girl being and the guy being absolutely in love with her. No, no, no. Fighting for love is like both of us are equally in love with each other, and like maybe your dad doesn't want me to marry you, and I say F you to the dad and I marry you anyway in Vegas or something. That's like more like Romeo Shakespearean fighting for love. But today it's just feeding a woman's ego. That's basically what fighting for love is, right? And when you don't do that, when you don't show over investment in women, and while they show almost no investment, then you're seen as what? A coward, right? And I was just like, no, you have to be detached because that's their play. It's not about love, it's about ego. And you don't want to be cut up in this maelstrom of female ego just for her so she could in the group chat brag about how awesome you are for giving her flowers or doing comfort stuff and showing that you care while she goes to bang a guy at 3 a.m. that almost forgot her name. So detachment is the key to having a fulfilling life with women, right? Um, and it does take practice, guys. But first, let's take a break and then we'll get to some comments. We'll go with this one. All right, guys. Thank you. That just need a quick break. So yeah, I'm seeing the comments. Guys, if you'd like to leave a super chat, if you guys whatever question you have, I'll veer off topic if you guys like and talk about it. But continuing on, yeah. So detachment takes practice. I know it's weird to say detachment. Not giving a fuck takes practice, but I tell you this: it's not that. It's not like, hey, I don't care. You don't just arrive at a situation and you're just like, I don't care. That's not what. That's not how you. It's first. It's like a step process, right? Okay, what is happening, right? What what is the other person doing? What can I do? What is the best course of action here? How do I leave the situation with my dignity intact as much as possible? Right? And the last part is mourning like a man, like with dignity. Right? Those things will come faster and make more sense over time. Right? And you need to understand that your emotions don't really matter in that moment. They matter to you, but they don't matter to the other person. So what you're gonna have to do is like you can feel them, right? But you could feel them in private. You can act on them in private, whether it be a punching bag or the gym or listening to sad music for 2 days or going for a walk, something healthy, right? But in the moment, reacting, it doesn't matter. They no longer care about you, right? Now, detachment all the time, 24/7 is easy. That's simple. Not caring all the time, not being that's easy. Um, you just you just stop caring, right? You just go on a date, stop caring, and then that eventually morphs into apathy, right? Which is pretty bad because you just stop caring altogether. You want to care a little bit. Women are not so bad, but the hardest is detachment on command. That is the final level 8 of the dojo of dating is detachment on command, right? That means a girl is excited to see you, been texting you for the last 2 days, says, "Hey, last minute, hey, I can't see you. Um, I can't see you today." Gives you a bullshit excuse. You detach instantly. That is the hard part. That is the part that a lot of guys cannot do. Um, Here's an example, like the example I just told you guys, right? A girl that you seemed very excited to see you for the first time you met. She's like you trading pictures, she's telling you all this cool stuff about her, whatever. And then the day of the date, she texts you 2 hours before that and says, "Hey, I can't make it," right? Which is bullshit, right? Doesn't offer you a second option or hey, can we go out tomorrow? Whatever. Doesn't apologize, nothing, whatever. A lot of guys will be like, "Whoa, you gotta send her a message," or "Hey, you gotta like tell her like that's fucked up," blah blah, right? And then there's this discussion about what to do in that situation. I'm like, no, you're not. Here's where you got to practice that detachment on command. You were invested at a certain level. You were texting her back. You were making plans. Maybe you got a haircut that day. Maybe you bought a new shirt. Maybe you cleaned up your apartment. You cared. You cared. But the moment you saw that she didn't care, you removed your care immediately. You didn't think about a text to send her. You didn't think about how do I convince her to go out with me? You didn't say, "Hey, let's go on let's try for next week or tomorrow." You immediately she doesn't exist anymore. She's gone. She's unfollowed instantly. She's erased from your memory, not out of anger, but because this fell through. And that is what you want. Detachment all the time, horrible. Detachment never, equally as horrible. Detachment on command, enlightenment. And that's what you want to be. You want to be enlightened. So, yeah. All right. See, we got Viking Paradigm, Fitness Freak.
Howdy, fellas.
We got SB. What's up, guys? We got Jack in the chat. Fred. Nice to see you, Fred. Um, the paradox universe, the less you want something, the more it wants you. Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. Women and losing that feeling for left legs, maybe find something better that make her feel better. Yeah, it's just like a lot of times it's not even your fault that a girl flakes, right? That's another part of learning how to be detached on command is again not making it about you, right? Stop blaming yourself for other people's BS all the time, right? Um, Guys will go on these tirades that they're not good enough for women, right? And women are or women are picky, blah blah this, blah blah that, right? But part of being detached is stop worrying about what could be. Is just what happened. What is. She did not go on a date with you. Therefore, you erase her from your phone and from your dating app. She doesn't exist anymore. That's it. There is no was I good enough, or what did I say that's wrong, or all women are the same, or it's this type of woman I should have known. None of that. None. There is no thinking about it. There is only this. Outcome A happened, or outcome A happened. Action one has to happen, and then that's it. It's very mechanical, very cut and dry. If you stop to analyze every single rejection with women, you will never get anywhere. You will be constantly thinking and applying whatever happened in the last rejection to the new one, right? If I go to salsa night and I go up to a pretty girl and say, "Hey, would you like to dance?" And she looks at me and says, "No, I'm good," right? Does that mean I'm going to stop dancing for the night and go home? Absolutely not. I'm just going to be like, "Okay, cool." And here's the thing. Um, sometimes, depending on the behavior and reaction of the woman, I never ask her out to dance ever again. Right? Just done. And that's not an emotional thing, right? That's a, hey, like, I don't feel like you would enjoy dancing with me, right? So why would I even keep trying to, I'm detached. I'm detached from you. I don't care. I'll say hi to you. I'll say hello. But detachment, guys, is such a detachment on command is such a powerful thing, right? And that is what a lot of guys they're mad at me at because it's not the women, it's not what I say, it's the fact that I can detach on command. And once you're able to detach on command, right? Dating becomes 100% more, like twice as easy, I would say. So much easier. Um, I'll give you an example. There's this girl that I was is a really good dancer, and I'm just like, wow, I would like to dance with her. And I go up and I say, hey, hello, let's dance. She's like, okay, cool. And while we're dancing, she's pretty good, and I'm invested. While we're dancing, one of my hands lays on the small of her back, and it's a little low. Like, I'm not like touching her butt, but it's salsa. Like there's, um, and she takes my hand and lifts it up during the dance. And I'm like, oh, no woman has ever done that, you know. So I'm like, whatever, it's not a big deal. And then again, we're dancing and she does it again. And I'm like, whoa, I never asked her to dance ever again. I wave to her, I say hello to her. I never ask her to dance. Um, you want to be pragmatic about this stuff, right? Detachment is an emotional response. It's a logical response. I saw that she felt uncomfortable dancing with me. Did I think I'm a creep? No, I am not a creep. I have women asking me to dance. I have reached a level where now women say, "Hey, let's go. Like, you're here. Let's go. Like, you haven't danced with me yet. Like, come on." Right? So I know for a fact I'm not a creep. It has nothing to do with me. The guys that are uninitiated will be like, "Am I a creep? Should I change the way I put the moves on these girls?" No. That girl had an issue. That girl. So I'm not dancing with her anymore. It's not about me trying to be better than her. It's not about her trying to be better than me. It's that a physical thing happened, an event happened, and I have to react this way. I don't know. She may think I'm a creep. I don't know. It's not my problem, but I have to react that, you know. So that's the difference between uh, people that quit and give up because it's for them it's an emotional reaction. Like I'm mad, so I quit, or I'm sad because I quit. For me, detachment is I'm smart, so I quit in this moment. That's the difference. Literally, that's it. Right? That's why when guys are saying, "No, I would have told her off," and I've been angry that she gave you your dog and didn't even check on him, and she had another guy, and she didn't even tell you, she didn't give you a heads up, or didn't, I said it wasn't supposed to be an emotional reaction. I just said, let me be smart. Logic. I want my dog and I want to go home. How do I get that the fastest? Give her a hug and say, hey, thanks for taking care of my dog. Don't worry, I'll take care of him. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. Okay, bye. And then I said my famous line. I said, um, don't mess this up with this new guy. I'm rooting for you. And I walked out. She was back in my life 3 months later, by the way. The relationship didn't work out. But the point being is, don't let anyone tell you that attachment is an emotional thing. Not, it's not. It's not emotional, right? And I do get messages on Twitter from women that say, hey, this red pill stuff is turning you into something evil and you're just so detached and blah, blah, blah. And, they're trying to hold power over you by, saying, like the who hurt you. And it's just like, it's not about hurting or not me being hurt, right? What hurt me wasn't women. What hurt me was caring about every outcome with women and having expectations. That's what's hurt me. It doesn't matter how bad a woman hurt me in the past. It's how I was unable to detach. So now that I'm detached, I don't get hurt as much. Very rare. Like maybe once a year, some girl will say or do something pretty messed up. For the most part, that's what they're missing, right? The detachment is not an emotional reaction. It's a logical one. It's what makes the most sense to a guy who has his emotions under control, right? No one, I don't know where this thought came from that dating is an emotional thing. No, it's an extremely pragmatic thing. You go out to meet somebody, you get to know them. You let your guard down, you tell stories, you hang out, you enjoy the person, right? And then when they're out, they're not around you, they're not around you, and you're like, okay, I had a good time. Does this person owe me sex? Nope. Does this person owe me ever seeing her again? Nope. Does this person owe me money if the date doesn't go well? Nope. Doesn't owe you shit. So because they don't owe you shit, you stop chasing, you stop, like, you let her, you give her space for her to come say, hey, thank you for the date, and maybe text you, send you a funny meme on Insta or whatever, and then you're just like, okay, cool. uh I paid for the date and I'm awesome, put in all this work in my 20s, she liked it. So step two is now she shows a little bit of investment too. Oh, okay. Sex. Step one, sex. Okay, she cares enough about me that she had sex with me. All right, that's step one always. All right, we had sex. Does that mean I'm in a relationship or she's gonna be fighting for a relationship? No. Remember, we're still attached. We're not like, okay, I fucked her, now she's gonna be obsessed with me. No, absolutely not. Right? You're still attached. You're not expecting anything, even if you had sex. And you get to a certain level where you're like, she's sending you memes and says, hey, can I see you tomorrow? Or hey, I'm doing this tomorrow, you should join, right? You already had sex, you can do a more high investment activity, right? This is you're still logical here. You're not thinking emotional like, wow, she's so cute. No, you're just like, okay. Step two, all right. You do the activity, then you say, hey, I want to go back to my place after, and then you have sex again. Okay, cool. Now, little by little, the investment starts uh increasing. That is so logical to me. This step process of a relationship, that's incredibly logical and normal. That's how normal adults should date. But the problem is girls start down here in terms of investment and guys want to start up here. And they wait for the girl to come up to them. No, the girl should always be ahead of you in terms of investment, right? The first date is kind of the only time where you may be a little bit more invested because you're paying for a stranger that you don't know. You're probably making all the plans, and you usually will. But at least in the future, you know that there's sex on the almost for certain that there's sex on the other uh, side of it. Therefore, you can be more attached. Simple. It's logical. It's so logical. I don't know why I know why women do it, but I don't know why men want to make this an emotional thing and shame you like, oh, you should care more about women. Your type is always like you're just a hedonistic player. I'm like, no, dude, it's not about hedonism. It's about pragmatism, logic. I like women. I like women that like me, right? That's a logical thing. That's detachment, right? If I feel like you don't like me, even if you say you do, I look at your actions. She is not texting me or she hasn't seen me in a couple days, hasn't reached out or anything. She's not into me. Detach. Done. Oh, you have no heart. How could you do that? What do you mean, how could I do that? It's literally the best thing you could do is to leave situations where you're not wanted. So I don't know. Be careful with detachment versus becoming apathy. Um, what ends up happening is that as time goes on, and it's not only the dating, it's just life situations where you're not getting the outcomes you want, and then you stop trying, and then when you stop trying, you're getting less of the outcomes you want, and then just a cycle that feeds in on itself, and then eventually you're just going through the motions, and you become apathetic, like you just don't care, like you start accepting like, hey, maybe I don't want to date, or maybe I don't want to do this, maybe I don't want to do that, right? But think about this. When you are with a girl that you like on a date and you're having a good time, there's a reason you put in a lot of effort before. So what changed now? What is the difference? And you have to know that. You have to figure that out. Why do I care less? Why am I tired? Why am I exhausted? It could be, guys, that you want something different out of women. Maybe you were spinning plates and then you want something more serious. And it may not be because you're lonely. It just could be like, hey, I just want to spend the holidays with someone, or I just want to go traveling with someone. I just, have a chick around. It's not date. Or maybe you just like, hey, I'm tired of going on random dates. I want more stability right now or something, right? That's okay, right? You can't make it a goal, but what you can do is now you know what you want. You've done a lot of self-reflecting. You're like, hey, so now you have to change the way you date and you have to take a different approach. And that takes time and work, right? And that's where the apathy comes. The apathy doesn't come from you necessarily not caring or not knowing what it's just you want something different and you need to figure out how to get it and you don't know exactly what to do yet. So you keep doing what you do know and you get the bad result or the results that you don't want. Similar like guys that get out of long relationships or marriages and they treat women like a wife. And they're like, oh, I'm not gonna get onto the dating game because um, I treat women well and I'm not getting hot single chicks to have sex with me or whatever. Just like, no, dude, you're treating women like a wife. And that's because that's all you know. So it's time to change your approach, right? Talk to guys that are single and that are spinning plates. And they'll tell you, hey, for step one is like, hey, women, you can't treat them like a wife yet. They're like, I know that's all you know because you've been married or in a relationship so long. And same thing with guys that are single and spinning plates, right? Like, you still got to be attractive, exciting, fun. That you have down pat, right? But I would guess that if you're a single guy and you want more quality woman that would be more uh, qualified to be a girlfriend, is that you have to start accepting less dates, not just go out with every girl that says yes. You have to start thinking about how to filter better for women, right? Before you meet them, and you have to start using different funnels to meet women, like Social Circle, and stuff like that, right? Because a lot of guys get miserable because maybe they stay on the dating apps and they don't go beyond that. And yeah, dating apps, there are quality women on dating apps from time to time, but it's harder to meet quality woman on dating apps. Not because there's no quality woman or there is, it's because it's harder to filter and see how they move in real life. Right? So knowing how three women are in real life, like through Social Circle game, and seeing how they move, seeing how they talk, hell, seeing how they smell almost sometimes too, um, is worth more than 10 women who look the same, but you have no idea. And you have to go on these 10 dates to meet these 10 women. And, by the time you get to the seventh one, you're burnt out and apathetic about it. Right. So maybe mixing and matching ways to meet women can help you with that apathy and that over detachment that you have. Because, that saying that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Right. So there's that. Um, that's how you get out of that being apathetic, right? Is taking a step back, maybe taking a break and realizing, hey, I am doing the same things to get what I used to want, and it's not working for what I want now. So I have to look at this whole process and be like, hey, maybe I don't want just any girl. Maybe I'm starting to look for quality. Maybe I need to start zeroing in on girls that I like truly like enjoy being around, not just girls that are hot or easy or something like that, right? Or hot and easy. Maybe you want like, hey, I no longer am dating women over a certain age because I don't care about sex that much. I really care about candidates. I want candidates, right? And that's for every man to decide. So yeah. My apathy came from too many chicks that had husbands, fiancés, and boyfriends. Just way too easy to cheat these days. Yeah. There's no morality in dating, and when you get into this this muck, this filth of the dating market sometimes, right? You have to understand that you're going to see some of the worst behavior possible from the opposite sex. Um, and it can be hard to reconcile that a little bit, right? There's this belief that watching podcasts extends your rage phase, and it does sometimes, but it only extends the rage phase for lazy guys that don't want to do the work themselves. Um, what made my rage phase longer than it had to be was the military, and seeing the things that I saw and feeling terrified about from women. Right? It wasn't even like anger; it was almost like fear. Like seeing my own coworkers ruin other men's lives, seeing women doing the things they do, seeing half my division get divorced after a first deployment, right? And the women like fleecing them, taking all the money out of their bank account, cheating on them, whatever. Those are things that you can't just be like, hey, girls are crazy, am I right? No, those are things that are just like, holy crap, what do I have to do so this never happens to me? And I think that's the right attitude for you. I think focus less on what these situations show you about women and focus more on, hey, how can this not happen to me? And if it does happen, how can I deal with it? And that's a hard question to ask. Those are the questions that a lot of men don't like asking themselves. Like even me, I know that the highest unaliving rate for men is men after they divorce in their 40s. I know that. And for me, it doesn't matter how much I know about women or relation or intersexual dynamics. I am still terrified of being in that demographic and having that happen to me. I think it's a healthy fear. I think it's something that, like, God forbid, if the day comes, I'll have the support and the knowledge and the grit and the resilience to beat that. And I hope I do. But still, it's not something to be taken lightly. It's not something that, hey, this bad thing happened to a lot of other men, but I'm so much better than those men. I'll be fine because I'm awesome. No, it's something that, like, hey, there's a reason these guys are calling it quits for good. Am I better than those men? Am I truly? Right? Just like in your situation, Fred. Am I better than those husbands, fiancés, and boyfriends? Am I too good to get cheated on? Right? Sometimes detachment isn't enough for those situations, right? Sometimes it's just a gamble. And that's part of life, right? A lot of guys do want to get married. A lot of guys do want to have kids, but understand that in the current world, um, it is still a gamble. Not so much a gamble for your finances as it is also for your mental health. We've seen it. We've seen friends, family that they've seen very strong people, and they get married and they just crumble. They can't take it. So this is a very normal fear, especially for me. But it's a healthy fear because it spurs me to action. It spurs me to learn. It spurs me to understand and ultimately accept that, hey, shit happens. There's nothing much I can do. Right? If a woman doesn't want to be with me anymore and I've done all that I could do, then it is what it is, If I'm attractive enough to have women cheat on those husbands, fiancés, and boyfriends with me, which I don't recommend, guys. I do not recommend, right? Life is precious. Don't do that. Um, how do I be attractive enough so it doesn't happen to me when it's my turn to be married? And we have some of the answers for you, but there is no guarantee. You have to detach from the outcome. right? She's not yours. It's just your turn. Meaning that women aren't property. You can't really control them. And once they're unattracted to you, they no longer care what you think. So it takes time to accept this. It takes time to accept where you, like the things that you don't have power over. But if you ever want to get detached, that is always step one. What can I do in this situation? What will get this over with the fastest? And then from there, take action. It has to be you feel emotionally, right? Fred, every female at all times has some form of relationship. Making it your moral concern to the point of apathy is self-imposed sabotage. Correct. And that's another point. Another part of detachment, right? Is you're going to see bad female behavior, and it's not always going to be against you. It's going to be against other men for you, right? This girl with the dog, she got rid of me maybe 2 weeks after we had a last sex session. Ain't no way in hell in about 3 weeks she met a guy she's gonna get in a relationship with. Ain't no way in hell. She was seeing me and another guy and asking for unprotected sex. Not my problem. It's not my moral thing to worry about. That guy's probably was happy that he found a hot chick, gave him the time of day, and I had no idea, and he had no idea about. We had no idea about each other. Detachment is incredibly important in this situation because bringing morality into dating, right? It's like you're making a pact or a fake covert contract, whatever, with some stranger that, hey, if I'm good, you'll be good too, right? I'm only banging one person, so you will, right? Like, there's no power there. Be selfish, get yours. And then when the person shows you, hey, I'm actually worth a damn, right? Because to me, the only way you'll ever get a girl can show you genuine burning desire, the main way, the way that matters the most is she actively proving to you or trying to prove to you there are no other men? That's it. That's the bottom line. I've had women do crazy things for me that other guys will be like, not even, they don't like, their wives don't even do for them or their girlfriends don't even do for them. Violin girl, she gave me $200 worth of gifts under my tree. She came to my house, delivered them, put them under the tree, and the next day she came by again to watch me open her gifts on Christmas Day. She has a family here in Dallas. 2 days later, gone. She said, I don't want to be with you anymore. Who knows what she had going on? Who knows what she was feeling in the moment, right? Women will force you to be detached. Again, you are what the situation calls for. If women with their hyperabundance are out here pretending to be your girlfriend and then pulling away instantly for other guys at a drop of a hat, right? What are you supposed to do? Be sad? Be mopey? Complain on the internet? No. You do like heat. Don't commit yourself to anything you can't walk out 30 seconds or less. You sit down, you process it, holy shit, what just happened? And you move on. That's all you got. All right. Yeah, you just every relationship is a dice roll, so it is what it is. I have a couple depressed coworkers with a couple kids, and they have a problem with their wife. I bet you if they divorced their wife in their mind, they'd be happier. I swear my parents, almost third of the girls who hit on me are married, and I live in a strict Islamic third world country. Damn. Gotta be careful with that stoning. For the second half of Ryan's motto is "Don't be unattractive. Constant concern and anguish is unattractive to females. Your anguish becomes self-fulfilling." Yeah, it's the male neuroticism. Male neuroticism is like the biggest new thing in for the guys that follow the red pill stuff, right? They're worried about body counts. They're worried about if she goes to Miami, and this is another thing. Thanks for bringing that up, Matthew. Um, when you don't detach yourself from women, what happens is you do all the things right. You know, like I was saying earlier, 6 figures, muscles, money, muscles, game frame, whatever bullshit, right? And what ends up happening is that you get to this point where you think now that you have superpowers. You can control the universe because you're a red pill now. And a woman fucks you, you're just like, woman, I control access to the relationship because you had sex with me. I'm like, no, that's not what a detached, game savvy, well fucked man thinks. You know what a well fucked, game savvy man thinks? He thinks, I just had sex. That was nice. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed now. That's it. That is detachment. I'm tired of explaining to guys that women have both access to control access to sex and relationships. They're like, "What do you mean? When I have sex with a girl, I'm the one that allows her to be in a relationship." Really? The, like, it doesn't. It's minuscule your power because first off, most women don't want to sleep with you, and of those women that sleep with you, most of them will not want to be in a relationship with you. And of those women that want to be in a relationship with you, most of them are going to put incredible conditions to the point where they're going to be the ones to be like, "Hey, I'm going to be in a relationship, and I'm going to keep my Instagram open." And that's the only way I'll be your girlfriend, right? So are you really even in control of that relationship? You see what I'm saying? If you were detached, you'd be like, hey, I just had sex with this chick. I'm hungry. Hey, you want something to eat? And she leaves your apartment, and you're just like, oh, cool. She left early. Awesome. Okay, now back to playing video games or back to doing whatever the hell I wanted. That's detachment. That's healthy. That's happiness. That's what's going to make you like women more. Being able to detach. Stop worrying about what she's doing or where she's at. Trust me, and it takes time, right? There are going to be points in your life where you are forced to detach. You have no choice. Either look stupid and lose your dignity as a man or detach. You will have to make that choice. And a lot of the time, guys will always choose lose their dignity over a girl. I've seen it happen all the time. Even the most experienced content creators of this red pill shit will do it in real time in front of you. And I'm like, how could you do that instead of just detaching? Right. Um, Same girl I was talking about at the beginning of the video. After having been sleeping with her for like 5 months, 4 months, 5 months, I was still active on Hinge and I was swiping and I saw her. I'm like, oh shit. I was waiting for her to be like, hey, Nuke, I'm obsessed with you because we have sex. And I'm just like, why is this not happening? Okay, I don't know. Maybe, whatever. Um, I found the pictures, her profile on Hinge, and I was like, what the hell? She's actively trying to replace me. And then 2 of the pictures were the pictures I took of her. So I started in my mind like, oh, this bitch is gonna leave me any moment. Like, what is she up to? Whose dick is she sucking out there? Blah blah blah. Still attached. Still attached. Where is she going? Oh, she went on a trip recently. She probably banged like 30 dudes or 3 dudes on this trip. Blah blah. Still attached, right? I'm still attached to the outcome, right? And then after two or 3 days, I think it was a week, I was like, she's gonna do what she's gonna do. Whatever. Continue seeing each other for 4 more months. I swear every day I was gonna get that text saying, "Hey, I'm seeing someone else." Nope. 4 more months, and the sex just kept getting better. Detachment. There, I had nothing to lose by being detached, only to gain, because she didn't like me like that. I didn't have control of. I didn't hold control or access to a relationship, or sex, or anything. I just said, hey, you want to hang out this weekend? Yep. Hang out, hook up, have a nice day. Bye. That's all I have control over. And imagine if I had been reactive. Imagine if I was like, hey, yo, I just saw your profile. What's up? I thought we had something, blah, blah, blah. I look like a big pussy. No game, lose an easy, fun play. Really like one of the best girls I've ever had in bed. Choice is yours. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? As Ryan says, right? So, Stephen Bradley Jones, parting gifts worth $200 and a home delivery. Prices. Yes. I didn't understand what was going on, and I still have some of like one of them was a rice cooker, electric salt and pepper shakers, a cocktail book, like all these, just a whole bunch of gifts that she went out and got me. And it was basically they were parting gifts, right? But the average person would look at that like, "Wow, what a sad story! It's so sad that she just left you with all that stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, like I could frame it like that, and sometimes I do to get an emotional reaction out of people when I tell the story. But the truth is, relationships are never over. They're just complete. I don't see them as over. I see them as complete. Every relationship has a beginning and an end, right? The end is usually painful because people don't understand how to slowly detach from something, right? Guys are always caught off guard by women's BS. And it's because they don't notice patterns or they're too busy or whatever. And when the time comes to end it, they're always caught by surprise and they end up months of just being depressed and sad instead of saying, hey, the end is coming. Let me slowly detach from this. Right. And detachment is going to save you time in the future when you're leaving a relationship or when things don't go your way with a chick. Right. Because you'll start noticing patterns like, hey, she's not texting me as much, or hey, it goes deep because there's patterns where even sexually, she'll stop doing certain things in bed, right? She'll start saying, I'm on my period. She'll go from having sex with you during Shark Week to saying, hey, I'm on my period. I don't feel it. She'll stop remembering the jokes you told her. She'll start spending less time with you. And honestly, there have been times where when girls are about to leave my life, one of the ways I know is that I've just become a straight up dick appointment. Just straight up like 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., show up, smash, and leave. Like I am just there, they're just to get off, and that's it. That's how I know, hey, I'm fulfilling my role as, taking care of her problem and leaving. She does not want to deal with me anything beyond that. And that's just part of life, guys. Like, again, people come and go. She's not yours, it's just your turn. Detachment is going to help you deal with these situations because we're in a new dating world. This isn't like there's this belief that if you act good, good will come to you. Bullshit. There's also this belief is if you act bad, bad will come to you. Also bullshit. There is no like good, bad, bad, good. There is no morality. It's just there is what is, and each person you act accordingly, right? If the girl wants to have sex with you and doesn't want a relationship, act accordingly. If the girl does want to have a relationship and have sex with you, then you act accordingly. You won't be able to do that without being detached. Dark Knight Dev says, "You good, Calillo? I had a huge problem with one-itis and attachment, which led me to hamper on results. Really messed with my head until I smashed a girl and she got married the next month." Jesus Christ. Woo! Yeah. Eventually, every guy comes to this realization, right? Where being attached is emotionally taxing. It'll burn you out so fast. So fast. And what happens is it's the Forrest Gump scene where he's running in the desert. And he just stops. He's tired, he's bearded. He stops in the worst possible place, which is just the Southwest United States, in the middle of nowhere, probably in Arizona or New Mexico or somewhere. And everyone looks at him like he's gonna say something, and he just says, "I'm tired. I'm going home." That is, everyone has that Forrest Gump moment where they're just tired and they give up. And I don't say give up on dating, give up on themselves. They give up on being attached. They say, "Hey, no one really seems to be into it as much, and why am I so into this? Why do I care about the outcome that much?" Women's power lies in that you care. You care more than you have to. That's where women's power in dating, right? So a way they do this to manipulate you, right, is they say there's not enough good men for relationships. But we all know that if women wanted to be in relationships, they would. It's literally the easiest thing in the world to get into a relationship for a woman, right? If a woman can go on Hinge and filter by race, age, location, and all those things, and just go on dates and bang maybe the hottest guys that she can match in about less than 6 months, she will be in a committed relationship. Literally that easy, and all women know this. But they don't want to be in relationships, but they want you to believe that they want to be in relationships because that causes you to be more attached. And when you're detached, when you accept that women also don't give a shit about dating either, they get mad because you are taking away their power. I know what women are because I've experienced. You guys know what women are because you guys have experience, right? They don't want us to know these things, right? Because at the end of the day, when you accept that women don't want to be in relationships, right? It takes away their power. It makes them look slutty. It makes them look it makes them feel like men aren't going to try anymore. But I tell them, "Hey, I got $200 worth of gifts from Violin Girl, and she left me 2 days later. She came back into my life a year later, and we dated for a while. Same thing, very invested girl. At least that's what it seemed like. And she invited me to one of her biggest concerts, got me front row tickets and everything. Was telling me about it for a month. Even put a reminder in my phone. And that day came, and she texted me, "Hey, can I get all my stuff from your apartment?" And I'm like, and that's like that instant detachment. Like, yeah, it's over. It's gone now. But she still wanted me to go to her concert. I went because I enjoy classical music, right? And it was a very good concert, very good symphony and all that. But um, they want me to believe that the reason that girl left was because I don't care. As I sat in watching her perform for the last time I ever going to see her in my life, in a fitted suit, right? In a tailored suit, looking better than all the schlubs there. They want to tell me I don't care. That I'm the guy that's like pushing away women for relationships. Really? Me? No. Women do not want to be in relationships. I am simply, again, I am what the situation calls for. And what is the situation? The situation is women are cheating on their husbands. Women are using their sexuality for their own gain, like, Instagram, Twitter, OnlyFans, all that stuff, right? Women are deciding to leave marriage for last when they're barely ever marriageable. Women are not trying to become future better wives or girlfriends, right? Women are watching makeup tutorials. Women are researching surgeries and lip fillers so they can get them. They are not taking 30 seconds or a minute to go on YouTube Shorts to learn how to make fluffy eggs or learn how to season food. They are not. The medium is a message, guys. Detachment is necessary. They're making you believe that detachment is weak, but no, it's actually intelligent. It's logical. Look at the whole of everything. Everything you see around you, they're trying to call you crazy. But look at this. Next time you make food, right? Next time you make something really good for yourself and you look at a tutorial like on YouTube Shorts or on Pinterest, how long did it take you to learn how to make that dish? Probably 10 minutes. Maybe you made it one more time and it turned out better because you fixed the ingredients and all that stuff. There are women that refuse to do even that. Why? Because they don't give a fuck, right? Same thing with the black pill guys. They tell you that they care, that they don't care about women. Or sorry, they do care about women, that women are bad, right? But they won't put a fucking ounce of effort at all. Nothing. Nothing. They just complain about women and women suck. And I'm like, you can only say you care and that women suck if you've tried, if you've done something. You want to debate me on black pill versus red pill? Are you serious? After all the work I've ever done? Are you serious? That's like a poor lazy man telling a rich hardworking man that his way of thinking is better. Are you serious right now? That's insane. That's what women are trying to do to you. They're trying to tell you you don't care about relationships and that you have commitment issues. Yet you've learned how to cook for yourself, meaning that your future family, my kids, my future kids and wife will have perfect eggs every Sunday for the rest of their life because I took the time out for a week to learn how to make good eggs. I am investing in myself and my future. But girls don't want to do that, and they're not. They're Uber Eats. They're eating fast food. They're gaining weight. They're having bad habits. They're not learning about fertility. They're not learning about how to prepare their bodies for childhood. They don't give a shit. They want you to care though, but they don't care. So act accordingly. Detach. That's why you have to become detached. It's not because it's an emotional response. It's a logical one. It's hey, you know, I'm in shape. You're not. You don't care. I get it. You don't care about being attractive. Sorry. I can't be with you. Hey, I learned how to cook and clean and take care of my health and feed myself. You haven't. You don't care. If you cared, you would. Hey, I've taken care of my mental health issues in the past. I've done healthy habits, whether it be being outside more, socializing, going to the gym, talking to good people, surrounding myself with good people, and getting rid of my bad habits. Oh, you've done nothing and you just drank and partied and listened to your shitty friends and you're on SSRIs? You don't care. You don't care about your mental health. You don't give a shit. That's why you have to detach because they're not on the same level as you. Whether it be a black pill guy that says, "Hey, you're trying for no reason," or a woman that says you're not good enough, or sorry, that you're hurting women by being single, and then you just no, it's just like no, you don't understand. I am I am what the situation calls for. That's it. I'm not angry. This isn't an emotional thing, right? It is simply, hey, you can't be fucked to learn any future girlfriend skills, even for yourself. That's okay. I can't control you. You're your own person. So I can't be fucked to care about dating as much as you want me to on a whole. Unless you step up to the plate. You rise to the challenge. If you want. Not required to have sex with me. However, No woman is really stepping up to the plate unless they're about to hit the wall. Women under 27 don't really want to be in relationships. Any woman that does is an anomaly. Or they don't want to be single, but they don't want to be a girlfriend either. So they get a placeholder boyfriend. Like, hey, he lets me go to Miami. He lets me have my Instagram up. He lets me have that back door in case I want to leave at any moment and have a better guy. So this is great. And he's my Insta boyfriend. He takes pictures of me. That's not really a boyfriend. I don't know what that is, right? But that's not really a boyfriend. So, detachment is something that you will be forced to do, whether you want to or not, because your choices are sacrifice your dignity or detach. And really, detach is really the better option. Trust me. So, yeah. I always love how you can go off on this, resonate so much. We have commitment issues, yet you don't know how a microwave works. Sawed off. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, guys. Like, I really want you to start looking at women like adults, not like these princesses that want to be home all day and fan themselves and all that stuff. I want you to start looking at women like adults with agency, like the most responsible teenager in the house, right? Look at them and look at their priorities, right? Now, when a woman is young, 22 years old, like very young, like you know, they're still young and dumb, right? Like I don't expect a 22-year-old to be able to bake a turkey, right? But if you're 26 or 27 and you can't make eggs, if you're 26 or 27 and you can't do basic life stuff, then I'm gonna be like, hey, you don't give a shit. You don't care. You don't want to be in a relationship. You want to be taken care of. You want someone to just solve your problems for you. You don't want to step up to the plate. I always say that the people that, marriage is going to go away. Relationships are going to be like very like short and all that stuff. So what's going to happen is that the only people that can maintain a relationship and a marriage are going to be the competent people. The dude that wakes up at 7 a.m. to go to the gym before his kids wake up. The mom that does the same, and then when they get home, she goes to get breakfast ready for the kids, and he goes up and gets ready for work. Right? The marriages and the relationships where she takes the kids to work in the morning, to school in the morning, and you pick them up from football practice or whatever in the afternoon. Right? The guy that, despite being tired and all that, still comes home and charms his wife, doesn't explode on her or lets go emotionally on her, right? And for the women that stay in shape, right? The women that manage their social media, those are the people that are going to be successful in relationships, right? And for those of you who have not dated a competent woman yet, we talk a lot about in the sphere, whatever you call this, the space, praxology, about female competency and all that. And I can tell you right now, dating a competent woman it puts all these women to shame. It opens your eyes so much. You feel like, what the heck are these women complaining about? Violin girl, one day she came in and said, hey, let's do a dinner party. I'll invite my friends. And I'm like, okay, cool. What do you want me to make? She's like, you're not making anything. I will make everything. I'm like, all by yourself? Yes. She made 5 or 6 dishes. All I did was make sure that the guests found parking and knew where the place was at. I saw her cook for 4 hours, barefoot in my kitchen, cooking. And then we had sex afterwards. And I still had to detach from that because she left and like that, right? Competent woman will teach you a lot about what you want in a woman. I used to think there's this belief that women have to be women are these already hardworking people just because they exist, right? It's bullshit. So again, when you guys are out dating and you're trying to figure out how attached or detached you have to be to a girl that you're dating, right? Let her watch her actions, let her show you that she is interested beyond just sex. And that's not just showing up, right? That is showing competence as a girlfriend, right? This girl, this violin girl, I'm almost kind of angry, not because she left, but because of how competent she was. Because I know now what's possible in a woman. It sucks, right? Because while other women are just like, you have to do everything beginning to end for them, right? Even casually, if you're casual relationship, you got to park the car for them because they can't parallel park. You have to make the drinks for them. They can't bring a bottle of wine themselves, right? You have to do all these things. And guys are like, "Whoa, what about the boundaries?" I'm like, she doesn't give a fuck about boundaries. She comes once every 10 days to my apartment, right? But like the violin girl, right, would be like, "Hey, remember that mango tea stuff I got you?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I remember. Hey, do you want this bottle or the big bottle?" Unsolicited. And I'd be like, "I want the big bottle." She's like, "Okay, got you stuff, got you some stuff." Out of nowhere. Right? Casual relationship. And seeing how she was, I know it was not about me. It was about that's who she was. Meaning, guys, that if one day she hates me, let's say we get married and had kids in the future, right? And she hates me and says, F you, I don't want to be with you anymore. Got it? She will still be competent enough to be a good mother for the kids. That is what makes that awesome, right? Because, she could probably kick me to the curb. I'll do something crazy or, she gets tired of me or something, right? Girls, women, right? Um, but at least I can say, hey, she doesn't like me. She doesn't want to be with me anymore. But I know those kids are in good hands. I know those kids are in good hands, right? But anyways, I digress. Detachment, guys. Let's see what else I have on this. So, how's everyone doing tonight, by the way? All right, you guys got a little beef in the chat. All right. Um, um, okay, so essentially, guys, to wrap this up, uh, detachment is essentially it's the way to go. You have no choice. Either you detach or it's your dignity, one or the other. Remember that the big lie about dating is that women want to be in relationships and women are the victims of dating and women are the ones suffering. It is not. Women are absolutely getting everything they want outside of a relationship, right? Women are trying their best to lie to you and tell you, hey, like I'm suffering because I'm single and men don't want to commit to me. And I'm like, no, no. If you wanted to be in a relationship, you would. Point blank, period. Since you don't care, then I don't care. Because if women collectively wanted to be in a relationship, I would be in a relationship. But I'm not. Meaning that they would stop having sex on the first date. They would stop throwing it around easy. They would stop traveling so much. They would start learning a little bit of wifey skills. Not have to be complete barefoot pregnant wife, trad wife, right? But enough like learn how to make eggs, at least something, right? Meanwhile, I'm learning how to do all these husband level activities for myself, right? Learning how to fix things, cooking, all that stuff, right? But they're not. They don't care. It's like every time I date a girl, it just seems like they don't really care that much for a relationship. And that's fine, right? But you're not going to tell me that the collective of women is desperately trying to find love. Bullshit. All we're doing, guys, is matching their level of detachment. That's all we're doing. It takes away their power when you match their level of detachment. They want you to care more than them. Don't let that be you. It's not that you don't care at all. It's just you care to the level that's practical, right? And that's why we say the relationship is her problem. It's not because we're lazy as men and we don't want to do anything after the first date. It's because we cannot invest and look stupid and expect to have a relationship because we care. They don't care, so I don't care as much. They will care when they're 28, 29, 30. They'll start caring then because they have to. Like Dalrock says, women are playing a collective game of chicken to not waste any more youth and beauty on their future husbands than they have to. All of a sudden they care. And that is one of the biggest pain points of dating today, is that women go from 18 to 25, 26, 27, absolutely not caring, banging everything, going on trips, not saving money, their mental health down the drain, they gain weight, they just don't give a shit. Nothing. And all of a sudden at 28, they look around, they start caring, and they're like, why don't men care? You made me. You made this. You made me do chat GBT. You made me use AI to pretend I'm an influencer. I only did that once, guys, but I tell you, it fucking works. It's nice, right? You did this, not me. Yes, I dated around a lot. Yes, I've dated a lot of girls that I would never commit to, right? But there were some girls where I was just like, you're 24, you're hot, I like you, you're a likable person. Just say the word. I ain't gonna bring it up first because you gotta show me. Like I can't be more attached and you be detached. That's not how this works. Um, but they didn't show. They were just as detached. Sorry, I gotta do what I can. Detachment can become a downward spiral. Being so detached after previous experiences, not showing any attachment, making them leave, confirming beliefs of attachment, can't blame. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier about apathy and how it's like it feeds into itself. Eventually, eventually the only way to break out of that is taking a break and reassessing what you want because you're doing the same things that you know how to do to get what you don't no longer want. So now you have to change that up and to get what you want, right? And when it comes in terms of trying to get higher quality women, you can't just only do the dating apps. You have to do you have to, improve your social circle. You have to start filtering better, right? You have to start honing in. You have to accept that you won't get as many dates because you're going for a more rare type of woman, right? You're going to have to up your own game, right? Like maybe you were dressing well before, but now it's time to dress exceptional, right? Maybe you had a good physique, but now it's time to get your physique exceptional, right? Maybe you had good game, but now it's time to become more exceptional overall as a man because you're going, whether you like it or not, you're going for a rare. You're competing in a higher echelon right now, so that's the choice you make. And when you accept that, it's time to go click it on again, right? Because a lot of guys they like plateau and they're just like, hey, I'm getting this type of girl. And it's fun for a while, but then after a while, you're just like, hey, I kind of want this. It's higher quality, it's more rare. So what do I have to do as a man? Okay, I have to improve myself a little bit more to put myself in these situations. Okay, that's fine. Makes sense. You're already detached from an outcome. Why not? If within that plateau you're finding girls that you like and you settle down with them, absolutely nothing wrong with it. Cool. But if you're the type of guy that wants more, you have to be willing to accept to put in the work to get more, right? Something has to change. You have to take a really extremely hard look at your process. Be hard on yourself and be like, what am I doing wrong here? What is wasting my time? What is not wasting my time? Right? Am I going to the wrong places? Am I lifting correctly? Am I eating enough protein? Am I wasting too much time online? Am I too hung up over this girl? Is my Instagram trash? Am I dressing all right, but I just don't have, am I not at the level that I stand out? Start thinking about this stuff, right? And it could be little. Like I just bought a whole bunch of colognes because I'm like, okay, I've been using the same cologne for years. Time to get a better fragrance. I want to stand out when I show up somewhere. I want girls to be like, holy shit, he smells good. Usually I get, yeah, I haven't gotten, hey, you smell good for a long time. Now I want the you smell good again. I want to stand out. So it's all that, guys. It's now I'm learning personally how to take better pictures, right? I'm going on YouTube and doing research when I have free time, how to pose for pictures, right? Um, Now I'm learning as I age how to lift with, so I don't injure myself. I just injured my shoulder. It's healing, right? But now I got okay, cool. I can't just be lifting all crazy. If I want to keep this physique, I gotta lift smarter, right? So, um, all these things, right, in order to get something better, and that's the beauty of becoming your own point of origin and being selfish and doing things for yourself, right? That everyone loves that side of male self improvement. Wow, he's learning how to dress, he looks hot, and he's getting in the gym, hell yeah. But when it comes to use all that work in order to benefit just you and get what you want out of life, that's what they have a problem with. That detachment. Detachment is earned, right? It's totally logical. You get it through abundance, right? Abundance is something that you need in order to have that outcome independence. Yeah, you could fake having abundance for a while, but eventually you need to actually get real abundance in order to have that outcome independence, right? That attachment. You're gonna have to go through a couple shitty situations. You're gonna have to see the worst of women a couple times, right? In order to get that natural detachment on command. You're gonna have to find healthy mechanisms of dealing with women pulling away from you really fast or in shitty ways, right? And I found those. It was work. It was work, right? There is a reason, guys. I post my little salsa night videos and I say something, something, whatever's going on, something, something, whatever's going on. Because my coping mechanisms for shitty women is going out and spending time with quality women. And not quality in terms of looks or dateability. Quality women, like women that when they see me, they give me a kiss on the cheek and ask me how I'm doing. Women that give me hugs and ask, like are polite. Women that like to dance with me just so we can blow off steam. Women that invite me to play video games. Hey, let's play some Helldivers. You know, Women that bring me cups of water. That's the biggest reason I go to salsa night, right? Because one of the healthiest coping mechanisms that help you detach is the ability to see the best of women in action. That will help you. That will keep you sane. For the guys that like to be online all the time, the touching grass thing isn't because it's a fun phrase to say and it's insulting. Like you don't go out, you have no life or no friends. It's your survival, your mental health, right? Because everyone's planting their flag on the internet, even me, to tell you what experiences they've had, and that hey, everyone is experiencing this too, right? Because I'm awesome. I'm like, no, dude, go out there and make your own decision, and then come to the internet and see if it's confirmed by other people. A lot of people think I dislike women, right? But then they get confused because they see me dancing or out with women, and they're all over me, hugging me and dancing all over me, and dancing with me and all over me, and shaking their booty on a camera and all that stuff. for me and generally giving me hugs and all of that, and I look like I'm happy, right? And that confuses a lot of people. Red pill guys are supposed to be incels or not get any women. They hate women. And I'm just like, you don't understand. You will never understand. And I like it that way. I like that for them to be confused. The only way I can get to that level is detachment. And the only way I can stay detached is if I have healthy mechanisms for coping for how women have treated me in my life. Whether it be assessing a situation, leaving my emotions to the side, and moving on, or hey, I had a shitty situation with women recently or my dating life, like Bird Person says.
It has been a challenging mating season for Bird Person.
I say, hey, dating's been rough. Girls have been treating me good. They've been flaking, whatever. Maybe I'm just not. I'm getting too apathetic. And then I go out, dance with a like 8 out of 10 chick, and she tells me, I appreciate you asking me to dance. You're always on. You're always on step, and I like your style. And she may not know it, but that made my day, made my night, made my guys with compliments, right? And it wasn't that like I looked at her and was just like, oh, I'm gonna like hit her up and see what she's doing. I looked at her like, wow, every day I log into this app or make content, there's some woman saying that I'm evil, that I like have sex with animals, or that I need to be this, or I need to go to jail. Start all men should start out their lives in jail, whatever. And you don't pay attention to it, but it's just like, man, do all women really think like this? Are they all like their backs against the wall and terrified of us? And then you go out in your real life and you see that women actually kind of like you. It's not even like the sexual part. It's like you, like think you're all right. And that's how I maintain myself detached. Right? That's all you got. So, yeah. How's Creature? It hasn't come in yet. There's two separate. I think it's coming in Wednesday. It's just the sample, but I've already tested some, and honestly, it's good stuff. Like the Creed, or sorry, I forgot which one. Let me see. This is Dunhill Driven. I don't know. I don't know. This is the one I don't know. You can't see the letters on this, but that's the one I just tested. It smells good. Yeah, this one, they're all like they're all good. That's the thing with me. Like I have such low standards for cologne because I smell it, I'm just like wow. But like it's just I need to switch it up because I'm no longer getting the hey you smell good compliment. So I want that back. So I decided hey let me invest in myself, which is a good cologne, right? So yeah, and then Chesty recommended it, and both of them are $470. So if I ever get Creed, the content is doing well. Between YouTube, or is it YouTube? And with Twitter and I think YouTube, I'm getting $400 a month. And then Patreon about 100. And then I just started my Patreon. I used to do more consults, but I just no one's been hitting me up for those because I haven't been really marketing it, all that stuff. So content's doing better. I just hope that start making. Maybe I'll make $1,000 a month before the end of the year, but we'll see. I got to start really focusing on monetizing this stuff. And my plan is right now to start making member only videos that are like incredibly practical for dating, both on YouTube and on Patreon. To give the members a kind of like more out of it. They'll probably be short, like 10 minutes long, just a quick explanation of how to do something or stuff like that. I wanted to do a logistics seminar as well, but I do have a new Patreon post that I posted today, both on Patreon and on Substack, about logistics. It's a short kind of like summary of questions you should ask yourself for logistics and all that stuff and all that. And then the next essay will be crap, I forget. Man. I'll get back to you guys on that. I'm trying to remember. I did start it, but yeah. Solid talk and understandings per usual. Thank you. You get one of these.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being so dumb.
You guys hear that? That's one of my favorite sound drops I've ever heard. Basically, that sound drop is how women laugh at us when we take them seriously when they say they want to be that they can't get a relationship. It's just like boo-hoo. Like, we don't believe you. We don't believe you at all. Someone do a welfare check on Julian Reyes. Your man is MILO. I think he was here last stream. You wanted Hank Hill? All right, let's do Hank Hill. Hank Hill. Oh, okay.
Howdy, fellas.
All right, you get a Hank Hill. All right. It's awesome. Yeah. You guys want to hear it again? Whoever super chats me, gets to hear it again. But essentially, that's that sound. That's what society thinks of you when you fall for the women are trying to be in relationships and they're victims and they can't find love. And I'm like, no, nice try. It's not that they can't find love. It's that they don't want to. Simple as that. So detach because they're detached. Right? Simple as that. All right, guys, that's all I have on detachment. I've been blabbing for almost 2 hours. What do you guys got any questions? Anything you want to talk about before I go? Yeah, that's all the notes I had. It's kind of on the fly show. I had it in my head, but I realized like detachment is one of those things that it's just you gotta just state in order to get it right because a lot of guys go in every single girl they date that they just wait around for an outcome, and I'm just like, there are times I go on dates and I'm just like, man, if I ever hear from that girl again, that'll be crazy because I didn't even feel we had chemistry, and then they'll slide in my DMs and be like, hey, can I see you this day now? And then there'll be times where I'm like, I had a great date, and I'm like, man, that girl, she's hot as hell. I can't wait to see her again. And then after that, she's like gone forever. Like we had a great date and still gone. So yeah, at the end of the day, guys, it's you have to like kind of detach. That's all you got. It's really that simple. It's not that women can't find love; they just can't find Nuke's channel to sub to. Yeah, guys, share my channel. Go, my minions, share my channel. Fish Amongerzy says, I have a dumb habit. I daydream about the woman I'm trying to date. Best way to avoid daydream. What do you mean? Like, you. Well, I mean, some girls are high and you'd be like, yeah, I want to have sex with her. You could daydream about that, but like, don't daydream about like outcomes. Like, don't be like, like I can't wait to go on this date with her because I know I'm gonna hook up tonight. Like, you know. Chris Edge, nuclear college, does teaching women manners work a lot in the dating stage? No, wait, hold on. Wrong one. Oh, wait, do I have a double? Okay, this one. No, you don't teach women manners, right? They have to have manners by themselves. Um, Obviously, you can talk to them, be like, "Hey, I don't like when you burp at the table, right? I don't like when you don't eat food with your hands that you're not supposed to eat, right?" But ultimately, um, like I was saying, manners is one of those things that just give it time at the beginning to see how she reacts to you, right? If you're a classy guy, if you're the type of guy that like likes to do fancy dinners and fancy eating, and or you don't like when like I personally don't like when women burp in public. Behind closed doors, don't care, do whatever you want, right? But in public, I don't like it, right? That's something you could talk about. You'd be like, hey, I'm not cool with the or burp. You can do it here and you're, just don't do it around me, right? That's not teaching. That's saying, hey, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see it. Right. But remember, in order to do that, you have to be attractive. She has to care. Right. This is something usually when you should worry about when she is starting to ask for a relationship, right? If she still doesn't want a relationship, that matters. None of that shit matters. Don't ask her for anything, right? It's not until she's like, "Hey, so what are we?" And then if you want her in your life, you'd be like, "Well, if you like where this is going, let's try it out," you know. And then you say, "But hey, you have this behavior I don't like. Like, you fix it, or no relationship." That is when you do it, right? You set the tone early, like, "Hey, you earned it. You're here, but you got to do this," right? And it's nothing big. I just don't want you to burp in public, or I want you to say excuse me, right? Or whatever manners you're talking about. But early dating, like, before she asks you for a relationship, no. Right, no way. Outcome independence. Yes. So, focus on something else. I remember you saying that you were disassociated or not being present in situations. How did you become more present? Uh, Getting plenty of rest. A lot of times we're not present in situations because we're exhausted. We're like, we've had a rough week or going through a lot of emotionally draining things in our lives, and we just maybe we need more rest in order to be more present, right? We just go through the motions of things. Also, another thing is taking a break, right? You don't have to, if you're going out twice a week, maybe go out once a week or once every 2 weeks. Give yourself more time to recover and give yourself space, right? Um, in terms of women, have you guys ever played a video game or a game or anything, right? Where you'd play it, but you just didn't care anymore because it was like either too easy or the rewards weren't the same. Like any game I play, I give you guys like Destiny 2. I used to play that game a lot, right? But for some reason, I just stopped caring about it, right? And it's because as I upgraded my weapons and my armor, it just became marginally less and less ROI, right? Like before, I'd get a new piece of armor and it'd be like plus 20 attack. I'd be like, oh, or sorry, new gun. And it'd be like plus 20 attack. This is awesome. But then as time goes on, I'm playing with my friends. Each gun was like +1 attack, and I had to grind the same amount to get that new gun, right? So it becoming the ROI of playing and getting a better weapons over time, it just got smaller and smaller, right? So that's why I stopped caring when I went on dates or when I'm dating women, is because I was grinding a lot to get women in my life. And when I say grinding, not for them, but just like in general, like showing up on a date on a Tuesday now is more taxing to me than it was 2 years ago, right? Because I'm busy, I got things going on. So it's like, I gotta go on this date. It's Tuesday. Yeah, I promised her I would go out. All right, let's see what happens. So you start to stop caring because you're just like, you become too detached and that ROI goes away. It's not as high as it used to be where like pussy and dating was like still exciting and new, whereas now it's like, girls, and there'll always be a girl, whatever. So that makes you kind of like detach too much or disassociate from the situation. So the best way to deal around that is, take a break, um, start going out with women that you like you, not only physically, but you just like their vibe, and you would see yourself being happy and like caring to go out with them, right? And that usually comes in the form of them being more attractive, hotter, younger. Um, right. You look at who you show up more for, right? Like if you go out with your friends and there's a certain friend group that when you hang out with them, you're just like, these guys again, and you just don't seem like as excited to be there. But then like you hang out with another friend group and you're just so happy to be there, and you're like, hell yeah, I can't wait to be around these guys again. Then it could be also like that. Like you're dating a 6 out of 10 chubby chick, and you're just like, yeah, that's cool, right? But then you go out on a date with a hotter girl, and you're just like, before the date, you're like checking your eyebrows, you're like choosing the right cologne, right? You picked up your clothes from the dry cleaner. You're looking at your shoes. You're making sure your apartment is clean. You are invested because you're actually, you're rising up to a challenge rather than another girl, whatever. Should I clean the toilet? I don't know. So, yeah, it's just going to situations which give you a higher reward will help you stop disassociating, or a potential reward. So, yeah. Any other questions or things you guys want to talk about? Yeah, man. Detachment, am I right? All right, guys. If you guys don't have much to talk about, I'll end it here. It was a good, kind of a more arbitrary stream. I don't think I put out anything that was incredibly concrete or practical, but just the mindset is important, guys. Detachment. If there's anything you get out of this, remember that detachment is literally self-care for a man. I know self-care is a cringe phrase, right? But detachment is self-care. You want to be detached because women are detached, right? They did this. They dictate the terms of the dating market, them, whether you want to or not, right? If women wanted to be in relationships, they would, and they're not. But they want us to believe that they care. That is where their power. I'm like, no, you guys don't care, and I don't. So, what do you want me to do? Right? Care. That's how they get you. You are. Oh, thanks, man. You get one of these, bro.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I don't know, dude. I just downloaded a whole bunch of sound drops, the ones that I think are funny. But what was I saying? Yeah, just play accordingly, playing defense, right? Like we don't get to decide how the collective women act. We just get to decide how we react in the best way forward, right? Yes, there are women that really want relationships, right? And that's why I say everything's on an individual basis. But the reason we say she's not yours is just your turn. The reason we say the relationship is her problem, right? Is because we were matching their level of care. That's it, right? If women really wanted to be again, I'll say it. If women wanted to be with us, they would, and they wouldn't wait till they absolutely have to, and they have no choice. They would do it like at 25 and 24. No, but they're doing it at 28, 29, right? And trust me, I've treated women good. I've treated women very excellent, right? And even then, they're just like ill, no. And then they go off with a placeholder boyfriend, or another relationship fails, and it's just like, how about this? How about we look at women's actions, the things that they focus on? They're not focusing on making fluffy eggs. That takes 30 seconds to learn. They're focusing on looking hot because they know subconsciously that what's going to get them what they want in life is being hot. They don't want to be in relationships. They want to be single and then play the field. For now. Women change by the day, so for now. So be detached, guys. That's all I have. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.